pleasure to announce that the 2023 Heisman Trophy winner is Jaden Daniels from Louisiana State University.
Congratulations. Before we hear from you, this is yours. Give it a test drive. 25 pounds. You got it.
Woo. Thank you. This is a dream come true. I want to first give thanks to God, for all the glory. He's my rock, my savior. He blessed me with the talents and ability to get here, all the special people here to develop these skills. To Bo, Mike, and Marvin, you guys are amazing. I enjoy watching y'all, but the competition is never over. I look forward to seeing you guys on Sundays. I'd like to start the thing with a few thank yous. I learned from previous winners, the first lesson is becoming a great quarterback, you got to thank your O-line first. Thank you guys for getting me here today in one piece. I know it wasn't easy. I scramble around a lot, but I love you guys. I have so many coaches to thank. My high school coach, Nick Rogers, he is here. Thank you for believing in a 14-year-old freshman to start on varsity. I probably weighed 140 pounds. I appreciate you. Taylor Kelly, thank you for helping me elevate my game, taking me to new heights and the next level. I want to thank Herm Edwards, Marv Lewis, and Antonio Pierce. Thank you for your leadership and welcoming me when I was at ASU, and thank you for giving me the keys to the program. To Coach Kelly, Coach Frank, Coach Denbrock, and Coach Sloan, and the rest of the LSU football staff, thank you for trusting in me to lead your team. I learned so much from you guys. You took a kid from the West Coast and brought me back down to the Bayou. I'm forever thankful. I want to thank to every single LSU fan for having my back. I never seen fans pouring their hearts into a team like LSU. I really wish I could have brought you back another championship, but that was my plan, but God has other plans for me. So wild. I want to thank all my teammates from Arizona State to LSU. You're my brothers. You work so hard every day and inspire me to be my best. The truth is I will truly miss all you guys. Having future NFL players on my team make my job look easy. My receivers always say this, they're like Waffle House, they're always open. I also want to acknowledge all the unsung heroes of this game. Trainers, the nutritionists, equipment managers, groundkeepers, janitors, security, everybody. Basically everyone who works behind the scenes to make sure our sport is the greatest on earth. I know it's sometimes a thankless job, so I want to say thank you. Then finally, I'd like to turn to my family. Dad, you put a football in my hands when I was young. I know you raised me to be a corner, but hopefully now the decision to play quarterback is paid off. You taught me how to play, lead, and be calm no matter the situation. And I know I wouldn't be on the stage if it wasn't for you, so thank you. I love you. My rock, my mama. You were so nervous when I was playing my first high school game, that you couldn't even watch my first high school touchdown. You closed your eyes. But after that, you never took your eyes off the field. You always had my best interest at heart from day one, and you showed me that tough love when I needed it. You instilled in me the hard work mentality that got me here, and you always told me to keep my eyes on the prize. You encouraged me to always bet on myself because you always believed in me no matter what. I graduated in 3 years because that's something that you pushed me to do. And here and now I'm on this stage, and I love you, Mom. Thank you. I want to shout out one more person, Sherman Wilson. He's in the stands somewhere. Thank you for everything you've done for me, bro. pushing me no matter what. You might be annoying, but, I love you, dog. Being a college athlete and winning this award has been a dream come true. I want to dedicate this award to every boy and girl who has a dream. With faith and hard work, you never know what's possible. They said I was too skinny, so I added weight. They said I relied on my legs a little bit too much. So, I went to work, completed all those passes, had the season I had. So I thank everybody out there. And they said I was too quiet, so, I became more vocal. I stepped out of my comfort zone, and now I'm here today. So what did I learn from all this? I learned how to block out the noise, that you could overcome any obstacle, and just be humble, be legendary, and most importantly, be joyful about what you do. And when you get knocked down, get back up, keep smiling, and never give up on your dreams. And I want to end a special thank you to Greg Brooks Jr. and his family. You gave me inspiration to continue on this journey of greatness and keep fighting. Thank you.
Jaden, these guys, they know what that surreal feeling is like, so get to know them. Congratulations once again. It's a powerful message. To Marty Smith with some details on the voting.
Thank you, Chris. I just met with our great friends at Deloitte. Let's take a look at the final numbers. Jaden Daniels receives 503 first-place votes. And, my friends, this is the closest Heisman vote since 2018. Jaden Daniels on 90% of the total ballots on which the top four were named. And the winner of the Heisman fan vote presented by Nissan is Michael Penix Jr. Congratulations to all. Enjoy. Chris.
Thank you.
Marty, thank you. As Jaden continues to meet his fellow Heisman winners, we wish all four of these Heisman finalists great success in the future. We'll be fans of all of you on Sundays, and there's still some more.
While you're shopping, please give me a new 5G phone.
This is how you tell me you want a new phone? Better plan is to switch to Verizon.
Last chance to switch and trade in any Samsung phone in any condition for a Galaxy S23 Plus, Watch 6, and Tab S9 FE. All on us. Only on Verizon.
On which the top four were named. And the winner of the Heisman fan vote presented by Nissan is Michael Penix Jr. Congratulations to all. Enjoy. Chris.
Thank you.
Marty, thank you. As Jaden continues to meet his fellow Heisman winners, we wish all four of these Heisman finalists great success in the future. We'll be fans.
It looks like here. 's record. Italy. Three, two, one, action.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Dave Filoni and the cast of Ahsoka have been talking about Season 2, posting a bunch of footage and scenes recently. I know there's been a ton of questions about young Ahsoka coming back for more live-action Clone Wars flashbacks. Probably one of the best parts of Season 1, so we'll break it all down. There are a lot of things Dave Filoni has revealed about what their plans are for the future of all these characters.
This is where the fun begins.
If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the episodes. There are about 3 Star Wars series that are coming throughout 2024. I'll talk about them later in the video because it won't be Ahsoka Season 2. It'll be a little while before that actually happens. Same thing for The Mandalorian Season 4. Like, they're getting ready to start filming The Mandalorian Season 4. It's still going to be a while before we actually see those episodes. But recently, you probably saw the Dave Filoni super post with a big info dump on the state of the Star Wars universe right now. He was basically revealing that he'd been promoted inside Lucasfilm, and he was sort of like this creative overseer of all Star Wars stories now, which we basically assumed that he'd already become a long time ago. They just formalized it the last couple years. Sort of like a Kevin Feige type of figure inside the Star Wars universe. But inside Dave Filoni's post when he was talking about all that, he mostly talked about the future of the Mandoverse, which is like all the stuff happening on the Ahsoka series, the stuff on the Mandalorian, the Thrawn movie that he's supposed to be directing, and the Skeleton Crew series, like all those series that are connected in that part of the timeline. But because his job is overseeing all Star Wars creatively now, he's handling all the stuff that's happening in the live-action movies and the different parts of the timeline too, but those are all separate from what's happening on the Mandalorian and Ahsoka. His super post and everything the cast has been saying is like all over the map just in general, but together they've all kind of given away the direction that most of this is headed, like where they're heading with Ahsoka Season 2, the future of these characters. For the most part, Dave Filoni revealed they are planning on Ahsoka Season 2, as well as Rosario Dawson. Like, yeah, feel pretty sure we're getting Ahsoka Season 2. There are a couple issues that they have to correct with the way that they told Season 1. I'll address that later in the video. There are like a couple clear complaints that people had, even people that loved Season 1. Like, there's still a couple issues that they need to address. And even though they didn't completely spoil what's happening during Season 2, they basically say that all the story threads that they set up, like a lot of the really clear stuff that they set up at the end of Season 1, they will continue during Season 2. Some of that they'll continue on other series like The Mandalorian Season 4 and the Thrawn movie, though, too, as well. Like, not all of it will just be on Ahsoka Season 2. And thankfully, after the Season 1 finale, Dave Filoni did clarify what some of the ending scenes meant for some of the characters, or what he intended for them to mean. One of the things he talked about specifically was bringing back Hayden Christensen as different versions of Anakin Skywalker in different types of scenes, even though technically it was meant to be the same Anakin Skywalker, just revealing himself to Ahsoka in different ways, in different forms. First it was inside the World Between Worlds, then later in the series as a regular Force ghost. So if it wasn't clear, it was always meant to be the same Anakin Skywalker speaking or watching Ahsoka in both episodes. As he exists now in Force Ghost form, Anakin and any other Force Ghost like Yoda or Obi-Wan Kenobi could do what Anakin Skywalker did with Ahsoka throughout the series. Probably one of the best parts of Season 1 was getting the live-action Clone Wars flashbacks with the younger Ahsoka played by Ariana Greenblatt. Most of you remember her as young Gamora from Avengers Infinity War. She was also just in the Barbie movie without any special makeup effects. Like, this is what she looks like without all of her makeup on. She just posted a whole bunch of scenes and videos with her and the other cast members, particularly Hayden Christensen, doing Anakin and young Ahsoka stuff. It's all great to see. I wish they'd post more of it. They're getting really meta here, especially when she's standing with like the older Rosario Dawson version of Ahsoka. So after young Ahsoka's debut, of course everyone was asking when she's coming back too. Like, why aren't they doing a full live-action Clone Wars TV series with her and Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi all the time? Like, why don't you just do an entire series that's just this? The really easy answer for that is mostly budget, and they already did the Clone Wars TV series. It just happens to be animated. The funny thing about that, most people don't realize this, is that Lucasfilm almost lost money on the Clone Wars TV series. Like, they weren't really making money on it because George Lucas was funding it out of pocket, and they spent so much money on the budget. If you go back and you watch the episodes and then compare them to the Star Wars Rebels episodes, you can kind of tell the budget on Star Wars Rebels was way smaller than the budget on the Clone Wars. Part of that was because when Disney did Star Wars Rebels, they actually wanted to make money on it. And when George Lucas did the Clone Wars, like before that, he just wanted to make a really amazing series. It didn't care about how much money they made on it. You can kind of tell during the live-action Ahsoka episodes that they spent a ton of money doing those Clone War flashbacks, even as small as they were. Like, they blew a ton of their budget doing that, even though it was totally worth it. Doing a full live-action Clone Wars TV series would be like doing a Star Wars movie every single week with that level of budget every single week. Like, you thought Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon had expensive episodes, like $10, $12 million per episode. Imagine $100 million per episode. So I don't think they're going to do any kind of live-action Clone Wars full TV series, but yes, they do plan to bring young Ahsoka back in live action. Like, of course they're going to bring her back, along with Anakin, because he's critical to a large part of what's happening during Ahsoka. Not just the young Ahsoka scenes and the flashbacks, but also the present-day storyline with Baylan Skoll and what he plans to do. But because they try to do slightly different things with each new season of The Mandalorian, for instance, they're probably going to do the same thing with Ahsoka. So we get more young Ahsoka in the future. It'll probably be them showing scenes from Ahsoka's life flashbacks that they haven't done in any medium yet before. And there is a lot of Ahsoka's backstory that has not been covered yet. Dave Filoni also made some key changes to the way they explain the world between worlds. So yes, Ahsoka can also still travel there in the future. So the way they presented young Ahsoka on Ahsoka Season 1 is that it was really just the consciousness of older Ahsoka in the younger Ahsoka's body. When Ariana Greenblatt was playing young Ahsoka, she was still the older version of Ahsoka. So they still haven't actually done a young version of Ahsoka playing young Ahsoka. They can do that with flashbacks in Season 2. Part of the idea with the way the world between worlds works, like this whole concept of time travel in the Star Wars universe, even though Dave Filoni himself tries to say that it's not about time travel, he's kind of right the way that he talks about it. Part of the idea is they say it's more of a metaphysical place that your consciousness travels to, not your physical body. So when Ahsoka was time traveling, so to speak, like she was kind of time traveling, it was really just her consciousness inside her younger body. That's why the younger Ahsoka remembered everything from present day. Like, wait a minute, things didn't go down this way. Like, you weren't here when this was happening. What's going on? That's why she got so confused in those final scenes with Anakin Skywalker, like he wasn't there during that battle because he was back on Coruscant saving Emperor Palpatine because it was the beginning of Revenge of the Sith. But one of the big things that Dave Filoni did reveal is that they plan on continuing Baylan Skoll's storyline where they left off with him on the statues of the Mortis gods looking out over the beacon in the distance. Now, he didn't spoil too much about his story. He didn't specifically say whether or not they would recast the Baylan Skoll character because Ray Stevenson did pass away in real life. May he rest in peace. He was fantastic during the season. But all that storyline that they set up was so critical to the future of what's happening in this part of the timeline, just in general, like even on the Mandalorian series, that they wouldn't just leave that as some big cliffhanger that they never address.
What it's like to be a Fairfax Egg Bank egg donor. Did you know you can receive up to $48,000 as an egg donor?
First, I filled out an application.
And essentially, Baylan Skoll said that he sought the beginning of all things, like the beginning of critical to the future of what's happening in this part of the timeline, just in general, like even on the Mandalorian series, that they wouldn't just leave that as some big cliffhanger that they never address. And essentially, Baylan Skoll said that he sought the beginning of all things, like the beginning of the Force itself. I think what he meant is that he sought to find the source of the Force, like the beginning of the Force, which would be connected to the Mortis realm. You could also say it's connected to the world between worlds as well, too. So one of the reasons why Anakin Skywalker is so critical to that storyline is because he's serving as sort of like a guardian of the Force, keeping the cosmos, so to speak, like the grand universe itself in balance. I did a video while Season 1 was still airing about how Anakin is essentially replacing the Mortis god, so to speak, like replacing the role that they served in the Force. He's kind of like the way that Loki exists right now in his god form at the end of Loki Season 2, watching over everything, keeping everything in balance, so to speak. That's actually something that the father told Anakin that he was destined to become back during the Mortis episodes of the Clone Wars. If you haven't watched those episodes, I would recommend you check them out. Like, you don't need to watch every single episode of the Clone Wars. They're just a couple really critical ones, and the Mortis ones are some of those. During the live-action Ahsoka series, they established that Baylan Skoll and Ahsoka as these two Ronin Jedi, sort of on parallel arcs, so to speak. So I think that Dave Filoni is setting up this grander plan that Baylan Skoll has to affect the entire universe on a massive scale by manipulating the Force itself, taking this power for himself. And ultimately, it will be Ahsoka to be the one to stop him from doing that. So if they're going back to the Mortis realm eventually, they're like some non-canonical now, like some expanded universe lore that gets into this source of the Force in the Mortis realm. Going back to the Mortis realm would be a really easy way to do more young Ahsoka flashbacks, with younger Ahsoka appearing with Anakin Skywalker in his younger form to reference their time there during the Clone Wars episodes. Mortis is also critical to Ahsoka's backstory in that she essentially died there and was brought back to life when the daughter sacrificed her remaining portion of her life to her. So now in present day, Ahsoka has a portion of the daughter's life force inside her. The same with Mirai, the Force Owl, is the avatar of the daughter. Like, not the daughter herself, just an avatar of her, but you get the idea. Both of them are like the continuation of the daughter. That's why a lot of people thought early on that Ahsoka would become another Mortis god the way that Anakin is replacing the Mortis gods, and maybe Baylan Skoll sought to take their power and kind of replace them as well. And maybe that's why they reference the Mortis gods so heavily in all of his ending scenes. Like, next stop, Mortis. Dave Filoni supposedly had most of Ahsoka Season 2 plotted out and partially written before the strikes began earlier in 2023, but the way he talked about it recently, it sounds like there's still a lot of work to do before they actually start filming it. Disney also just generally delayed all the Marvel series, the Star Wars series, all the movies because of the strikes, and because they're completely reorganizing how they do TV series behind the scenes, now their Star Wars plan for 2024 is the Acolyte High Republic series. That's not connected to The Mandalorian or Ahsoka. That's like its own completely separate thing. Skeleton Crew episodes are supposed to release at the end of 2024 now. That is an Ahsoka Mandalorian crossover show. I'll do separate videos about that when we get some more actual footage. And then the Bad Batch Season 3 is supposed to happen somewhere between those series. They already confirmed the Mandalorian Season 4 is like the next big thing they're working on. Like all the Mandalorian Season 4 crew members and the cast members have started to marshal and are getting ready to film episodes. Now there's no way they could release that till 2025. There have been all kinds of rumors about them turning Season 4 into a movie. Right now, I'm not going to pay attention to those until we start hearing that from like a billion other reliable sources in official channels, like official announcements. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. There are a couple big issues that they do need to fix from Ahsoka Season 1 for Season 2, and it's mostly just doing a better job of helping new viewers and people who didn't watch the Clone Wars or Star Wars Rebels episodes connecting with all those characters. They do have The Mandalorian Season 4. They have a couple years before Ahsoka Season 2 would be ready to be released to figure out a lot of that stuff. So let me know in the comments, how do you want them to address some of the big complaints from Ahsoka Season 1? Really excited, though, for them to go super deep on Night Sisters now in this part of the timeline. I just did another video talking a little bit more about The Mandalorian Season 4. Click here to learn about that, and then click here for that Star Wars Acolyte trailer video. Thank you so much for watching. Everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Hiroshima or something.
It does.
You know?
It does.
It's absolutely terrible. Anyway, something that we would like to bring up once again, we're going to show you some footage here which is quite appalling in my opinion. But in China, history doesn't matter. All right?
Yeah,
you hear this a lot, where China will say, oh, 5,000 years of history, China's a long history. Yes. And I keep telling people that's actually not true. China has about 75 years of history. Thereabouts.
Yes.
That's
I
it.
agree.
Just that's all. All the prior stuff to that was completely destroyed.
Yeah.
Okay, if you go to England, say, you go to Oxford or something, you can see buildings that are hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
They've got records of monks writing stuff from the medieval times or whatever. They've got everything there. The history never got erased. They didn't burn the Oxford University down.
Japan, Korea.
Yeah, go to many countries around the world that actually have history that you can see, tangible history. In China, that stuff is gone. And I mean, this is a modern example. They're taking a historical building here and just simply destroying it to make way for a presumably concrete block of a piece of junk. You know, and I've seen this with my own eyes. You've seen this with your own eyes. There's a very famous case where, remember, in order to bring tourism to a town that was well known for having like ancient temples, they broke down the temples and built a fake one in its place.
Yeah.
You know, they built like a temple complex. They took the real temple, smashed it down, built a new one.
I do. I remember that.
Like a 700-year-old temple or something. Look, China, there's no respect for history in China. None whatsoever.
I can't get none.
Yeah, the old stuff is just useless. Get rid of it as far as they're concerned. We're just going to build something new here. And exactly. It's terrible. Like, anyone who cares about history... it's very upsetting to see this kind of thing.
It is, because especially if you appreciate Chinese history, you go there and you actually have to trick yourself and find things. Like, you know me, I was kind of a weeb for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I would go around and fool myself into thinking I was in some, very historical site, finding some very precious thing. And I did find some very special things, but I was latching onto things that had been destroyed, and I was looking at remnants.
Yeah.
I was blocking out in my periphery that there was a mountain that was being gouged by 10 excavators.
Yeah.
And then I was blocking this over here, this 8-lane highway with car crashes on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking to an old lady about how things used to be. And it's sad.
Yeah, it's
just sad.
The lack of preservation, and this extends across all of the CCP's influence. And if you go to any of the Belt and Road, we're going to be talking about Belt and Road today, guys, but if you go to any of the countries where China's currently helping with infrastructure, let's say, remember they knocked down that World War II memorial for the fallen soldiers in, where was that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, remember there's like this memorial where they had statues?
In
Serbia, and they were just like, screw these statues, knock them all down to make space.
Let's just say people were in them too, please. But Serbia has to suck up to the CCP.
Yeah.
So there's backlash locally, but they can't do anything about it because the government, they want China to love them.
In Africa, where they go to do gold mining and all their other rape the land stuff, they very often destroy sacred sites. Like a sacred river will have a lot of significance for that local tribe, and they will actually divert the river or destroy it or dig all the ground up or something. So, I'm just saying that this attitude towards their own history and their own cultural relics that you see in China and have seen since Mao's days is extended everywhere.
And by the way, before you think people are complicit, most Chinese people are not happy about this.
No, of course not.
There are people that are, Chinese people that are rightfully obsessed with Chinese history and that are very appalled at this, but there's no power to do anything.
No, there's nothing.
What are you going to protest?
Yeah.
What are you going to petition the government?
There's nothing you can do. But what you can do is, seriously, Chinese state media is like the gift that keeps on giving.
It's truly amazing.
Yeah.
And somehow this slipped through our fingers.
Yeah, we completely missed this entire series. So we wanted to...
It's relevant to the topic.
It is relevant to it. We wanted to introduce you to Xinhua's reporter over here. Let's get us out of here for a second. Let's take a look.
China is changing fast, and so...
Whoa, sorry about that. By the way...
That was a whiplash.
Yeah, I got to turn this volume down. It's going to give everyone, it's going to make everyone deaf.
China's changing fast.
Yeah, but the thing about that is if you listen to the China part, they mixed two, obviously they cut two things together where we're saying China, so it's very weird.
Okay.
Welcome to 3022 Vermeer Court. Come on in. Let's go. Introducing 3022 Vermeer Court, a jewel nestled behind the gates of Eldorado Hills' prestigious Serrano Country Club. The discerning buyer will find this home's floor plan ideal, with 2 en-suites, each offering a cozy private retreat promising serene rest. The spacious living areas blend sophistication with comfort, complemented by a state-of-the-art Sonos speaker system for an unrivaled auditory experience while you relax and entertain family and friends.
This home boasts a modern facade surrounded by serene landscape. Step inside to discover grand interiors bathed in natural light. The custom gourmet kitchen is a chef's dream, equipped with top-of-the-line GE monogram appliances, and there's a massive island making entertaining a breeze.
Escape to the luxurious master suite, a tranquil haven designed for relaxation.
Outside, your private oasis awaits with a sparkling pool to cool you off on hot summer days and a fire pit to warm you on cool evenings, all set against the backdrop of the beautiful Serrano landscape. Live the good life in Serrano.
Cheers! 3022 Vermeer Court isn't just a home, it's a lifestyle in the heart of Serrano's Country Club luxury.
Oh.
China is changing fast, and so are its maps. If I could look physically dazzling like these Chinese, maybe I should grow old here.
Whoa, what? Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
I can almost pinpoint this accent.
Okay.
Because we're quite familiar.
Mm-hmm.
People in our area tend to make fun of people from this area. I don't know if he's from this area, but that sounds like a Pittsburgh accent if I ever did hear one. But also kind of mixed with New Jersey.
Yeah.
But it's a very, very obscure accent, and I love it so much. And it's so not presenter-worthy.
Yeah, that's true, but I think more what he's saying is a little bit
I know,
sus
but the
over
second
here.
phrase, what did he just say?
If I
Play
can,
the whole thing.
Okay, if I can look physically dazzling.
Physically dazzling like these Chinese.
If I can look physically dazzling like these Chinese, that's a little weird. Do you think he wrote that script?
No, not a chance. In fact, I'm quite... Can you play that again?
Yeah, I'll play it again.
I'm going to make a statement that I'll actually put money on.
Okay, let's get past his thing here. Here we go.
China is changing fast, and so are its maps. If I could look physically dazzling like these Chinese, maybe I should grow old here.
If I could look physically dazzling like these Chinese, like these, what does that mean? If I could look physically, I would put money on that this sentence has never been uttered before prior to him saying this.
I think it's the first time in the whole world that anyone's ever said that.
It's a new sentence.
Yeah, it is.
If I could look physically dazzling like these Chinese.
Yeah.
He's standing in front of a bunch of Chinese old people.
Yeah.
Do an exercise.
Yeah.
Who has ever said physically dazzling?
I don't know. He did.
This guy rules. But what's happening is what you do, my friend. What's his, I don't remember. Oh, Colin. Maybe a little tip. Maybe you're not doing the same way, but when somebody gives you a script that sucks, right? Like, because I've been fed lines before, not for our show, but for stuff we used to do. If somebody feeds you, like, gives you a thing that you're supposed to say, like in our documentaries, right? And if it sucks, you go, I'm not going to say that. I think it'd be better if I said it like this. You're allowed to do that.
Yeah, you don't need to say, if I look physically dazzling like these Chinese.
I'd rather be mentally dazzling.
Anyway, let's see what else this guy, because this guy covered a huge range of topics, obviously, for Xinhua, being a correspondent.
He
kind of looks like Shane Gillis.
Oh, yeah.
Here. This year marks the 70th anniversary of the People's Republic of China.
Oh, Sky Don't Lie. You hit us with the Sky Don't Lie.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but
that is some pea soup. Or like
that's how I remember Beijing.
You know what that sky looks like? It's like if you finished a bowl of tomato soup and then it's done.
Yeah.
There's still residue and you pour milk in it.
Yes, that's right.
That's what that looks like.
Yes, exactly that. Anyway, let's see what else he has to say.
He looks dazzling.
Yeah.
Over the past decades, the country's risen from shambles into the world's second largest economy.
It now has the world's biggest middle-income population.
I love the green screen.
And it's the largest contributor to global economic growth.
It is widely acknowledged that a key to China's success is its system of democracy.
What?
Yeah.
This guy, he's one-upping himself.
Yeah.
Everything he says.
Yeah. I love this lie that China has democracy. They tried so hard to push that. Because, everybody was always going on about Taiwan being this thriving democracy, right? In the region. So China's like, well, apparently it's good to be called a democracy. So we're going to latch onto that word and say that we have democracy too.
Because China's growing fast.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, if you want to know what China's idea of democracy is that the leaders in the Communist Party get to vote.
The people that you didn't choose. So wait.
Yeah.
Democracy is when you don't choose the leaders and they choose everything.
Yeah, basically a couple of powerful men sit around.
Oh, I've been wrong on the stupid American education system.
And even they don't get to choose because remember they're like they had to vote whether Xi Jinping gets another term or not, and it was like 2,000 votes or something, and it was 2,000 yes, 0 no, so they don't get to vote. They just it's just all for face. Anyway, just in case you were confused about the whole democracy thing, it doesn't exist in China. What else we got?
Legislature, the NPC, and top political advisory body, the CPP-CC National Committee.
That's.
Is he walking on top of the ledge? Bro's gonna fall.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. Like his leg is in the table.
Get us out of there. Look,
okay.
He's standing above the table.
Like in between the cables down there. What's going on with their cable management?
Oh, that's rough. Because this is the most important meeting of China's every year. Like the most powerful country.
Yeah, exactly.
Other than the U.S.
Yeah.
Oh, no, but I'm probably wrong about that.
Yeah.
Because China's growing fast.
Yeah, it's growing real fast. Anyway, the thing is, guys, his green screen is on point.
It's
okay?
incredible.
This is what makes this guy so special, is his mastery of the green screen.
Well, his state media producers.
Yes. Yeah, they're master of the green screen. So anyway, let's see what else he's got to say. Get us out of here. Right.
You didn't edit him in there.
No, that is Chinese state media putting him in there, clapping at a some or other policy thing and a woman walking in front of excavators.
The thing about a green screen is either you do it like us and you have something in the background that you're referencing, or some decoration.
Don't pretend to be in there.
You pretend like you're in it unless you're in a movie and you do it properly.
There is one clip of him on green screen which I'm saving for next week specifically.
Okay.
Where he's walking, pretending to walk down an alley. It's just, you'll see it. You'll see it.
I love this. This is maybe one of my new favorites.
Yeah, this is like Colin's green screen capers, okay?
Yeah.
Let's see what else he gets up to.
BC deputies and top political advisors work pro bono. They have full-time jobs in addition to participating in political affairs.
Wow.
I mean, I like the way he talks. It's kind of got that. It's got that like I'm walking here kind of a sound to it. You know,
it sounds like if somebody from Pittsburgh was living in New Jersey, like trying to fit in. Like, you remember that show Jersey Shore? Like,
I never watched it.
Okay, it's like it's that kind of. It's that vibe. It's like those two melded perfectly in a presenter.
That will explain why. And I got another clip of this guy dressed up as like an emperor or something from the past, saying he comes from the Jersey Shore.
Oh, no way!
Yeah, I was saving that for next week. But you get to see that next week anyway.
There's definitely Pittsburgh elements to this stuff.
Anyway, the sky don't lie. Look at how horrendous. When he's not in front of a green screen, he probably should just be in front of a green screen, because look how terrible it looks.
Dude, it's apocalyptic. I love how they picked that tree road, though, to try to mask it, but it's so thick that you can see it in the actual air.
Yeah.
It's that rust veneer in the air.
You know, the first time I went to Beijing, it was exactly like this. And it blew me away, because I'd seen pollution in Shenzhen. And mind you, I'd been in Shenzhen for probably about 3 or 4 years by then. So I'd seen like pretty bad pollution, but nothing like I saw in Beijing. When I got to Beijing, when I stepped off the airplane, my lungs actually were burning, my nose was burning, my eyes were watering.
You know what's rough is that's not even close to the worst either.
Yeah, it's not.
The areas in Hebei and some of the areas I went, even in Inner Mongolia, like in the steel areas, are worse, and that's insane. But there people aren't accounted for.
Yeah, it's awful. Anyway, let's continue on. Let's see what else this guy's got up his sleeve.
2017. Deputies raised 41,000 suggestions.
Who came up with this idea?
Oh my gosh! Can you play that again with the music?
Yeah, I've got to play it all
Somebody
again.
came up with the idea, by the way, to make him jump and then cut it poorly.
Yes.
On top of bureaucratic papers in front of Xi Jinping's biography.
Yes. This is what happens when self-respect.
Yes.
Take it, you crumple it up, and you throw it out the window.
Hey, maybe he just wanted a gig. Maybe this was his stepping stone.
Yeah, but that's still like
I know.
There's certain things people don't do. You know.
Deputies raised more than 41,000 suggestions.
This is your edit.
Yeah, I edited this, obviously.
This part.
Yeah, just this part.
Jump button.
No, this is him. This is state media. Oh, by the way, you know what this reminded me of? Because, okay, wait.
This isn't what I was going to say. This is not the first time.
It's not the first time Chinese state media has shrunk a foreigner down.
And I think, can you riddle me this?
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm getting out of bounds here.
Right.
Did somebody in the party / in the production team be like, let's make these foreigners little?
I feel like they did. They were like, I feel like there was something, yes. Let's belittle the foreigners. Because look, he's literally standing in front of Xi Jinping thought books, by the way.
But I think the other guy is too.
Yes, you'll see. I think there's a mandate somewhere, because...
This is a different guy.
Yeah. By the way, I'm about to show you a clip from not only a different presenter, but a different state media.
Yeah.
This is Xinhua, and the other one is China Daily.
Yes.
Right? So it's two different state medias.
It's state, but they're competitors.
Yes, they're competitors. But the thing is, in both of these clips, you see a miniaturized foreigner
miniaturized
hanging
American
around with a Xi Jinping thought book. Yeah, let's take a look.
It's a common theme.
Yeah, let's take a look. Here's mini foreigner number 2.
Creating space for economic heroes.
Wait, what came up with this?
I have no idea.
Someone thought this was a good idea.
Yeah.
What am I looking at?
Oh boy, he's an epic journey, dude. Look.
Cover California is a free service from the state that's already helped millions of people like you get and pay for health insurance. With financial help to lower the cost of health coverage, you could get a quality health plan for less than $10 a month. Every plan covers preventive care, doctor visits, emergency care, and more. If you have questions, we're here to help every step of the way. Cover California, this way to health insurance. Enroll by December 31st at coveredca.com.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh, they really did this multiple times with different people.
Oh yeah, but it gets better. He like watches Xi Jinping on an iPad.
The little foreigner.
Okay, so there's a little bit of extra story to this
Little
because
Lord Faulkner, Little Lord Foreigner.
yes, exactly.
Little Lord Foreigner.
So anyway, this guy, after I watched this video, probably about a year ago or so, I looked him up, right, and he's on LinkedIn and stuff, and he moved to Hong Kong to become like a real journalist or something.
Yeah.
So just on Twitter, I just added him that video. I'm like, hey, I just say, bro, what's this all about? And he blocked me immediately. He's like, nobody can know about this. No one.
Oh well.
Oh well.
We don't have any ill will. Like, you do what you got to do, and you
I just thought it was pretty funny.
He clearly doesn't do
Dude,
this anymore.
I do the same. I'd be like, don't remind me.
See, I would own it. I would make this my. You know, when you go to YouTube channel and it auto plays a video, that would be my autoplay.
That'd be your autoplay video.
Because it's funny. It's funny as hell. You gotta own it. You gotta own it.
Yeah, you do have to own it. That time I was miniaturized and carried around
I made
by
fun
state
of myself
media.
when I was chilling for the CCB. I wasn't getting paid to do it, but like, like, you gotta own it. You gotta look your past. You gotta grow.
Yep.
Literally.
Yeah. Yes. I love it. Okay. Let's move on, shall we?
Oh my goodness. I just can't believe that there were two separate occasions on two publications where they shrunk down a foreigner and made him stand in front of Xi Jinping.
And do like stupid jumps and stuff.
There was a mandate that said,
someone's like,
shrink a foreigner, shrink a white guy, and put him in front of Xi Jinping.
Yeah, and that happened twice. You've seen the evidence right here on state media.
Shilliver's Travels.
Shilliver's Travels? Yes. Somebody makes a fan art, please, of Shilliver's Travels.
God.
Yeah, okay, let's move on. Okay, so let's...
Are we moving on? Because I still see
we're getting
Pittsburgh, Jersey boy.
Yeah, we're getting back to Jersey Shore over here.
We are in an era of globalization. International cooperation plays a role in almost every country's development. Among the many existing cooperation platforms,
no idea. Yeah, dude, I love the edit. They just threw in so many random little cuts.
It's like they bought a pack. You know, you buy one of those packs.
Yes.
And it's like spruce up your video.
Yeah, it's exactly that. Anyway, I'm pretty sure there's some Xi Jinping books in here, but let's not bother with that. Let's move on.
Initiative has emerged to the forefront. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
The Belt and Road. Over roughly 6 years, this initiative has evolved into the world's largest platform for international cooperation. And how did it gain its popularity? The secret lies in the word share. For starters, the BRI boosts connectivity.
You know it's coming.
Yeah.
I mean,
wow. Pick a better day.
This is your adverts. This is your, like, we're going to cooperate with the world. Look at our horrible pollution.
You know what that doesn't look like?
What?
Dazzling.
No, it's certainly not dazzling. No. I mean, anyway, for those of you who don't know what the Belt and Road Initiative, what do they call the Bait and Rob Initiative? The
Bait and Rob Initiative. I like that one.
It's pretty much the Chinese neo-colonialist drive.
It is.
So what they do is they approach poor countries, developing countries, and don't you find it first of all absurd that China classes itself as a developing country?
Well, they do it for a reason.
Yeah, I know, but they do that so they can get first of all foreign aid gets sent to China. and has been up until very recently. Lots and millions and billions of dollars worth of aid has been sent to China because it's developing. But they get all sorts of special trade deals because they're a developing country. They don't have to pay tax on certain things. They can take advantage of the World Trade Organization. There's lots of things they can do as a developing country. But riddle me this. What developing country sends people to the moon, has a space station? Oh, the moon. Has a space station, loans trillions of dollars to other countries. This is not a developing country. This is what's called taking advantage of loopholes. Anyway, the BRI initiative, they go to a poor country and they say, hey, we will help you out by helping you build some infrastructure, like a railway or a port or a, I don't know, university or something. And it's going to help you with your local economy because you're going to get jobs. It's going to give you infrastructure that you didn't have and all that kind of stuff. And you can pay us back later. That's what they say. So then the government, especially they go to corrupt countries, you know, usually these smaller countries that have a pretty corrupt government. They're like, you know, behind the scenes doing whatever they do. So they're like, yes, we'll do it. China comes in. Not only do they import all the workers from China, so they don't actually generate a lot of jobs for the locals because the majority of the labor still comes from China. And then the Chinese laborers get all the money paid to them, so when they go back to China, they take all the money back with them. They also then build crappy infrastructure that's not worth what they've charged that country. Okay? And then the countries can't pay it back. And they don't pay it back, so then they default on the loan, and China can come in and say, well, you didn't pay us, so now you're going to owe us this strategic piece of land. You're going to owe us rights to mine over here. You're going to owe us that airport now belongs to us, or that port, or this railway, or whatever. So
what? There's a port.
Oh, yeah, there's a port.
Right?
Yeah, this one.
Port of Dan.
Anyway, you get the idea.
You cut it off real
Port of Dan. You get the idea. Seems like such a nice thing on paper. We're going to come in and help, but it's nefarious. Okay? And all the countries that have actually participated in the Belt and Road, I don't think there's a single success story.
There are very few. I'm becoming a bit of an expert on the BRI because I've covered it to such extent, but I'll talk about some developments that have happened as we move on.
All right. Anyway, so let's see.
My report is coming. Now this stats and figures.
Oh, great! So glad I got you back on the show. Anyway,
graphs too.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, guys, now the reason we're showing you this whole guy doing his stupid green screen stuff in the sky don't lie is we're building up to this, what he's doing here. And this is a promo for the Belt and Road Initiative. So rather than put you through this entire boring video, because what he does is he goes and they do segments, and they go to a person from Ghana or a person from all the different countries that have, you know, Pakistan and stuff, that have indebted themselves into this indentured program. They like get a student or something from there that they find in a Chinese university.
They choose one. Did you do soundbite about choices?
Yeah, I haven't. Not yet.
No worries.
Anyway, the fact is, they bring the guy. They bring like a student, and they put him on camera, and they'll be like, "Yes, this cooperation between China and my country is amazing, and because it's going to do this and that."
It's always a student.
It's just some poor student that they've cornered who's studying Chinese in the university, and they're like, "He's from Ghana. He can be the spokesperson for Ghana." Anyway, they did that with a bunch of people, but most importantly, they did it with an Italian dude who wants to kind of be Marco Polo or some nonsense. Exactly.
That's like a thing we call, if there's a foreigner that moves to China and they become like I don't want to talk to other foreigners because I'm here to live in China. Like when they're too holier than thou.
Dude, that's hilarious. You'll get that. Like there'll be a foreigner who lives in a certain area, and he's like moved specifically to like a more scummy area, so he can like slum around and go to, and he has his favorite restaurants and all that, and you just happen to go into that area or live nearby, and you go and you sit down at a restaurant and
you get a scowl.
You'll get a scowl. He'll like walk past you, sees you, he's like,
he doesn't give you the foreigner nod.
No, he's like, what's this foreigner doing in my neighborhood?
Here's the deal. In China, there's this unspoken rule. It's called the Lao Wai nod. Black, Hispanic, white, even Asian, if you're from, if you're not from China, it's just a thing you do, and you nod at the other foreigner, and they nod back because there's not many, and you know that your situation is rather unique, right? And that's just something you do. You're like, oh, hey, where you're from. It's just a talking point, right?
Yeah.
But those Marco Polos, they never give you the Lao Wai nod.
No, because you're competition, because they're just there for the attention.
Yeah, the attention.
And they're like, how can there be another foreigner in this space? Now people are going to look at them rather than me, type thing.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. Anyway, back to this. We just got another little thing that we have to show you. Is part of their Belt and Road propaganda is they try to pretend that America needs to borrow money from China.
Oh, that's delicious. Wait, what am I looking at?
Yeah, what are you looking at?
Is that a green screen?
Yes.
Ah, beautiful.
Of course it is.
I love it.
Let's take a look.
Meanwhile, the BRI
he's
also
getting run over.
And now he's in America, apparently.
Standing in traffic.
Yep. I mean, surely he could just go there because he's American.
Anyway. Not signed up for it.
We in the U.S. need a lot of funds to modernize our infrastructure. And China has the experience and expertise.
I mean, come on.
What? I mean, I get that American infrastructure is old. I get that, and it does need severe updating. But it's not that America lacks the funds to do it. That's not the issue. And no, America's not reaching out to China for help on that.
They also don't need the expertise.
Absolutely
because China's infrastructure is all based on foreign infrastructure. All the trains, all the rails, all the technology is based on something that they had to learn from overseas or copy from overseas or license from overseas. It's nothing that's homegrown. It's all, every part of it is just something that's based on something else. So they don't have some special expertise. It's kind of silly to say that.
Well, many times they claim to have something called AI 5G
expertise. Anyway, let's get back into it. So let's get into this, continue with this BRI nonsense. Apparently everybody needs China's BRI.
To help the U.S.
I'm really interested in the Chinese culture, Chinese
this is the
history,
Italian guy.
Chinese food, people.